everyone, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video. We need to talk our third game of week 2. It is Orlando and New Mexico, as New Mexico opened up their season. Same with Orlando, but as the new team with the relocated team, it makes for a couple of storylines when it comes to the start of, well, the 2026 season for both of these sides. So obviously one team can reign supreme. If you're watching this recap, you either don't know or you already know and you just kind of want to hear my opinions. So let's go dive into it. We got some notes, we got some stats, we got a bet to check out, and that's pretty much it. So let's go. All right, so notes from the game, and then we'll go into some stats and stuff later on, but just some observations and kind of the game flow as I took it throughout the 4 quarters of football. Rouge starts this game from the end zone. New Mexico goes up 1-0 as Orlando cannot get the ball out of the end zone. They get tackled inside of it. Chupacabras go up 1-0. Both teams wearing their home uniforms, and the contrast is working here. New Mexico in all red with yellow, all red with yellow socks. Orlando is in all teal with white socks. Paxton De Laurent starts for Orlando as Talia Tonga-Vailoa is exempt to the United Football League to the Houston Gamblers. Orlando drive crosses into New Mexico territory but stalls out on 3rd down, no matter. Pirates are going to go for it on 4th down. Thomas Owens is wide open on the left side. Pirates go up 7-1. Next possession is a huge run for Jerome Johnson in New Mexico. He gets across midfield into the Pirates territory. Demonstreet hauls in a beautiful rainbow pass from Johnson. New Mexico answers back. That is the first touchdown in Chupacabras history. I didn't say New Mexico history, Chupacabras history, because if this is truly a continuation of Duke City, then we have all the prior history there as well. Another 3rd down stop for New Mexico. Pirates will go for it again on 4th down. De Laurent is stopped short. Chupacabras take over. Quick 3 and out for New Mexico. Ben Derby has a long field goal. It hits the upright. Orlando regains possession. It's the end of the first quarter. We'll talk about the clock issues and the score bug later. Orlando driving. Pirates have thrown really well so far. Running game is getting stuffed in the backfield from time to time. Wide open Puka Williams on 3rd down, and he converts it. De Laurent fumbles but recovers it himself. He gets fumbled into the dasher boards. He's able to, corral it. Williams bullies his way into the end zone. Puka Williams has a touchdown. So do the Pirates. New Mexico's drive stalls out in the next possession. Derby on for another long field goal. Kick is no good. It is returned. Dante Wright with the missed field goal return all the way back for a touchdown. Pirates increase their lead. Chupacabras have a nice kick return of their own. It's not a touchdown, but they need to get a score out of this. CJ Jefferson hauls in a 4th down pass, and it's a touchdown. New Mexico, they get that score that they've needed. De Laurent fumbles in the end zone. It's a safety dance for the Chupacabras. You can tell your friends if they want to. You can leave your friends behind. Chupacabras get 2 points. CJ Jefferson has some nice receptions, but Jerome Johnson gets sacked twice. Ben Derby misses his 3rd field goal of the day. 21-17 Orlando at the half. No penalties in the first half. That's baffling. No penalties at all between either team. To start the second half, Latavius Brini delivers a huge hit on a kickoff. He loses his helmet. 3rd down, a diving catch for Demonstreet. It's a 40-yard catch and switches the field position for the Chupacabras. Ball was tipped Joel, Demonstreet, diving catch. If you haven't seen the highlight, highly recommend it. I think it might have actually been a SportsCenter top play, but regardless. CJ Jefferson catches a ball, crosses the plane. Orlando challenges the call, and it's upheld. I thought it was incomplete, but it's a touchdown. Orlando's possession. They're throwing the ball really well in this game, and they were running and throwing pretty well, but I was actually pleasantly surprised with how well Orlando was actually throwing the ball. It's like New Mexico's secondary is kind of new to this, kind of raw. Who would have seen that coming if you watched the team previews? And Puka Williams caps it off with a 9-yard touchdown rush. Orlando goes back in front. However, LaJames White, he just hits the X button, man. He just sprint, left side run, house call, 45 yards. My God, New Mexico, welcome to the Indoor Football League, man. They take the lead. There you go. Orlando, again, passing well on their next drive, moving downfield. Puka Williams with another rushing touchdown, just picking up from what he did last season. So I think he's taking the touchdowns that Kenji Bahar would have had with the quarterback sneaks and stuff like that. They're just handing it off, goal line situations, anything inside the 5. Just push Puka Williams into the end zone. Chupacabras, moving on this drive, Demonstrate has a huge 17-yard grab for a 1st and goal. And then, what the hell is even that? Jerome Johnson is in the process of getting sacked. He just throws the ball behind his head. CJ Jefferson somehow, some way, gets it. It's a touchdown for New Mexico. Again, another highlight reel play here. If you haven't seen it, he's twisted. I can't do it on the camera as good, but twisting, just throws it behind his head. I bumped my desk, and it's caught. I don't know how. Orlando works to the 6-yard line. It brings up a 4th down on their drive. They're going to go for it, and they get it. Puka Williams caps off another drive with another rushing touchdown, his 4th of the evening. Orlando goes back up. New Mexico crosses midfield but stalls out. We reach the 1-minute warning with Derby on for a field goal. He misses another. Orlando can win this game, and they do. They run out the rest of the clock. Orlando takes this victory 41-38, and New Mexico has to kind of be kicking themselves a little bit when it comes to that. Let's go take a look at some of those stats. Let's take a look at our bet, and we need to have a little bit of a talk when it comes to the score bug of the clock. All right, stats over the face already. We need to have a talk about this too. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll have a whole segment about it after the bet. But 41-38 is our final. These stats are mine. If these stats somehow appear on the Indoor Football League website, I will be pissed. But these are the stats that I have personally taken because the stats are completely wrong, even as I looked it up prior to this. It is pathetic that you cannot get the correct stats. You are in your, 16th year, 17th year as a league, and you still cannot get the right statisticians or whoever to get your stats and compile them and everything like that. So, basing it off what I have, are they accurate? Maybe. As accurate as I can make them as I watch the game in real time. There could be some flub-ubs. That's perfectly fine. But for the most part, pathetic. That's all I can say. We'll rant about that in a minute. 41-38, your final. New Mexico had a lot of opportunities, really, to really win this game. You know, you'll see the missed field goals and stuff like that and wonder, yeah, but how many of those field goals could you truly have made? 1 or 2? And yes, there was the one to tie it at the end, but at the same time, I'm not going to knock Ben Derby. You can for the sense of how well he did for Vegas last year, but at the end of the day, there are other opportunities that New Mexico either just couldn't get the correct stops. They couldn't stop Puka Williams from just getting into the end zone. And they really couldn't stop the passing attack that was Orlando. But regardless, it's more than just one play or one thing that cost New Mexico this game. And Orlando was just the better team. I don't see this as New Mexico's lost opportunity, Orlando's, victory from the jaws of defeat or whatever. So that's where you have it. But a good game, back and forth between the two, and Orlando pulls it out. So taking a look at the game leaders on the left side here, Paxton De Laurent, 18 of 22, and like I said, they were passing really well, and it shows right here, 151 yards, only the one passing touchdown to speak of, because you have the touchdown vulture, that is Puka Williams right down below him. But 151 yards, 18 of 22, were very accurate, very, very good. Puka Williams, 11 carries, 52 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and Thomas Owens, 4 of those 18 catches, 46 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. So that was the opening touchdown that they had, and then it was just kind of the Puka Williams show after that when it came to scoring touchdowns. Jerome Johnson, 12 of 22, not the best day at the office, but again, building that chemistry with a brand new team, coming over from Vegas where you had your am I the starter, am I not the starter kind of issue, and he still threw 4 touchdowns. So at the end of the day, 1 out of every 3 passes was a touchdown that he completed. So do they have to have him throw quite a bit? Yes. Was he as accurate as De Laurent? No, but he's more of a dual threat running quarterback, and he did help them in that regard as well. So can't knock him too much. You just wish that accuracy was up just a little bit more. James White, 5 carries, 51 yards, and 1 touchdown. And again, stats can say whatever it wants, but 45 of those yards were just that one rush. So really, you take that away. He had 4 carries for 6 yards, and Orlando really just kind of bottled them up in the running game, all things considered. They still got their yards and stuff like that, but when you look over to the right side really quick, those rushing yards, 77, 45 of those is just on that one play. So really, you take away that one play, Orlando really bottled up the run. So Demont 4 catches, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, again, Demont kind of the go-to guy for Jerome Johnson with those receptions. He caught a third of Johnson's completions. Taking a look at the team stats on the right side, 13 first downs to 9 in favor of Orlando, 50% on third down and 66%, 67% on fourth down. Orlando was able to move the chains when they needed to. And again, 2 out of 3 on fourth down when they couldn't convert third down. They were still overall, 5 for 9? Still not bad. 2 for 7, though, and 1 for 5. New Mexico lived and died by the third down. Both these teams kind of did, and they kind of died by it. They just couldn't get things going. And then obviously 1 for 5. I don't think those are all the missed field goals, but quite a few on those fourth downs were those missed field goals. So just couldn't convert on fourth downs. Total yards favors Orlando, but New Mexico, again, they did put up some points. They did put up some yards, and through all of the faults and all the stats and everything that you can say, New Mexico was in it till the very end. 151 to 134 in terms of passing. We've already touched on the passing yards. And surprisingly, no turnovers between both of these teams. No fumbles. De Laurent fumbled, but he recovered it. But no interceptions, no nothing. And I know that was kind of a knock on Jerome Johnson throwing interceptions and stuff in Vegas, but at least that's some solace you can take away for him in this one. No interceptions, no fumbles. Really clean game. Just, again, a little bit more accurate. Rushing yards, again, we touched on that. 77 of New Mexico's, or 45 of that 77 is kind of in one play. So other than that, the rushing game did sputter a little bit, and a lot of that can be attributed to maybe some sack yards, because Jerome Johnson did get sacked, I think, 3 or 4 times in this game, and I attributed him losing those yards to that. He had a huge run to start the game, and then he had a huge run by LaJames White, but those sack yards and everything like that kind of come back to bite him in the butt. But overall, both teams ran the ball pretty well, and again, Puka Williams, what can you say about the man? They, obviously more people were running besides him, but at the same time, 52 of those 92 yards were all him, and of course 4 touchdowns to go along with it. I counted 2 penalties total. Refs were letting them do whatever, man. That's it. No penalties for New Mexico in their very first game. I watched the game. I counted 2 penalties. One, I think, was a hold, and one was a personal foul. I think either illegal defense or something. There was 1 penalty for 5 yards, 1 penalty for 10 yards. And the one for 10, I think, was a personal foul. And then I think there was a hold or something like that. I can't remember. But off the top of my head, that's all I can remember. They had 2 penalties total in this game. That's insane, because Orlando, I think, either last year or a couple years ago, was one of the most penalized teams in the league. So being able to cut down on that, New Mexico having none, you wonder. And again, we talked field goals and stuff like that. I'm not going to harp anymore on that. You missed 4 field goals. Those were opportunities to win. You didn't, but those aren't the things that cost you the game. Like I said, both teams were in this till the very end. They both went back and forth, swapping the lead and things like that. But until the very end, Orlando pulls it out, and that's where we have it. Let's go take a look at our bet. Let's rant a little bit. We'll get out of here. Oh yeah, we won our bet. And just pretend I have money right here. I'm too lazy to go get it. All right, we are going to rant. And if you watch my videos, you know that I am a huge stickler for details and accuracies and stuff like that. There's quite a bit that was missing in this Orlando and New Mexico game. Now, we're going to start it off with the timer, and or lack thereof, dare I say. Excuse me. This tickle in my throat has been going on for 2 weeks, man. Even the doctors have no idea what's going on. But regardless, how hard is it to keep time in an indoor football game? People noticed that the clock wasn't right, and what makes it even worse is that this is New Mexico. This is a game that features New Mexico, which has always had issues with their broadcasts and stuff like that in the past when they were Duke City. I'm not going to pile on to New Mexico because I don't think this is necessarily their issue. I don't know if it's a league issue. I don't know what happened. But if you are calling yourself the Major League of Indoor Football, you cannot have this happen. You cannot have this happen. I don't know if the refs just don't have timers on themselves. If I can keep time on an iPhone and someone at home can too, I don't know why you can't do that inside your arena. You can call this an overreaction. You can call it whatever, but I call it Bush League because there's no way that this should ever happen to a league that has had this happen multiple times. You're in your 16th year, 17th year, and this still happens. That's not Major League, man. It's pathetic. It's pathetic at this point that you can't get the timer going, which looks bad on the score bug, to the point where even Ari Wolf has no idea what the hell is going on. Neither does this color analyst. Where are we at with this? How does this happen? How does this happen? And I get it. If the clock operator, whoever inside the arena, it doesn't know what's going on or what the indoor rules are, then why are they even there? In the words of Kevin Guy, fire them. Fire them the next day. They'll never work for me again. I don't know what went on, but I don't want an excuse for this. It should be an apology of, we screwed up. Whether from New Mexico or from the league or whoever, we screwed up. That, here's this. Ari Wolf had no idea when the end of the first quarter was, and when they said it was the end of the first quarter, there were still 4 minutes on the scorebook. And then, hey, we're going to call the 1 minute warning. Oh, wait, no, we're not. There's like 3 minutes that we need to put back on the clock. There was just, we don't know what was going on. And I get it. Someone's going to come in here and try and vouch for the league, and that's perfectly fine, and that's okay. However, there's no reason at all this should have ever happened. You have an entire offseason to get this stuff going. You have an entire offseason to talk to your teams that are within your league, and those teams employ these people, whether they're interns or not, to get this going. Which then raises the next question. How do you keep score? That was something that happened with the score bug as well. What equals what equals this and that and this? Because at one point there were 18 points for New Mexico when they should have had 17. And then you're wondering, how does Orlando at 41? They missed a kick, but I thought they had 42, but I couldn't figure out when they missed it, and I had to go all the way back. So thank God you have the 24-hour stream on YouTube for Yahoo Sports to go back and realize they missed a third quarter kick for Ali Mortada. It's elementary stuff if you're keeping score of a game, man. I don't know if the refs just don't have a clock or a watch on their wrist or what. I don't know. And if they're not keeping score, if they are keeping score, I mean, they were able to keep score. But at the same time, I don't know if anyone else was. Which then, keeping accuracy on the thick of things, fix the damn stats. We are 5 games in. 5 games into the season, and we have Tycorian Brown throwing touchdowns. Tycorian Brown, I don't even know if he suited up in this game. What the hell are we doing? I'm serious. What the hell are we doing? I was told all offseason we have better statisticians. Oh, what happened last year? It's not going to happen this year. 5 games in, it's happened. What are we doing? This is not Major League. And I'll call it out. You're being too mean. You're overreacting. Because if you don't call this stuff out, then people just get away with it. And they think it's okay. Fix the stats. Give Jerome Johnson and James White and all these people their damn credit. So that way, if they ever get an opportunity to go out and play in the outdoor game, or if they have other stats that they want to get signed on for with another team, that's fine. And if you want to sit there and be like, hey, those stats, all the players have it, and this and that, then put it on the website for the fans to have it too, because the fans deserve to know who scored those touchdowns. The fans deserve to know what's going on. And it's not just even that. When you go and look at the box scores and stuff like that, it's showing you that like Paxton De Laurent scored every single touchdown for both teams. Or that, blanking on the quarterback for Green Bay. His name's escaping me because it's not Cole Stenstrom. It's Liam Thompson. There you go. But it's Liam Thompson scoring a touchdown for everyone when you looked at the Green Bay and Fishers game. Fix it. It's not that hard. If I can do this at the end of a game in 15 minutes, my tweet's still up there. I took the stats for this. Yeah, I don't have all the tackles and interceptions and what have you on the defensive side. But if I can do this, if I can do what I just talked about in the previous segment, in an entire game, there's no reason why you can't have stats updated. None whatsoever. It pisses me off, man, to let this, you're overreacting. There's always going to be people coming to the defense of the league, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. You have to fix it, though, because they didn't do it last season. And there's reasons why there's players that didn't even play in certain games or didn't even suit up, and they're getting credited with tackles or they're getting credited with receptions, but they're a defensive back, and we're doing it again. 5 games in. Not like 13 weeks in. 5 games in. How long until we have a week where there's no stats kept? Just like they had last season. Stop. Seriously. Like, again, is it an overreaction? Yes, but I want to call this out now and nip it in the bud before we have an opportunity to get to those points again. You cannot call yourself Major League with deals with Yahoo and Overnight and all of this good momentum going your way to have stats that say otherwise. To have products like this that say otherwise, they go, we can't even keep time in our games. What are we doing? Gotta fix these things, man. They're so minuscule. Those are the details that people care about. Those are the things that I've been tweeting about. Like I said, it doesn't help when you have New Mexico, who's, again, been kind of that whipping boy of no fans in the stands and the broadcast issues and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. And going back to Duke City, not New Mexico. But at the same time, you've had those issues. And to just pile it back onto New Mexico this time, they don't deserve that. Not one bit. They had a great opening. Yes, it was a little bit of a late arriving crowd, but the crowd showed out. The arena looked great. It was a great, great game and a great, great venue, and it's marred by all of this stuff. Because what should have been a talk of it, of Orlando being able to pull out a victory against New Mexico, is now marred by, we couldn't get the time right, the score was off, and now we don't even have the right stats. It's just pathetic. That's all I have to say. But that's it, man. I'm getting out of here. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I know it's just, not a good way to end it, but I don't know how. Excuse me. I don't know how to end it. I don't. We got to fix these issues, because if you can do it for the first 4 games, why can't you do it for this one? This better be an anomaly. That's all I have to say about it, man. I don't know what else to say. Like I don't know. It sucks. It sucks, because this should have been a nice back and forth game. Paxton De Laurent, he gets the start instead of Talia Tonga-Vailoa, and he's able to be as accurate, and we should be talking about this stuff, and instead I'm ranting about the goddamn time. James White with a huge run, Jerome Johnson trying to get, back into the swing of things with what happened with him in Vegas, and we're talking about the friggin' score. And how you can't make numbers work. It's an amazing game. I'll leave it at that. But that's it. I'm taking off here, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'll catch you in the recap with the final game that we have between Northern Arizona and San Diego. Until then, I will see you in the next one. I know this is running late, but still, I have to get that off my chest, man. You got to call this stuff out. You do. Otherwise, it keeps going and people turn a blind eye to it. I can't do that. I might be harsh, and that's okay, but I love this league, and I want them to succeed, and this is not succeeding. So, regardless, I'm taking off here, guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Until then, catch you in the next recap, and then we got week 3 previews and all of that stuff. Till then, see you.